Okay guys, obviously I've been doing a couple of Death Guard videos of late. I gave you guys the Primarch, I gave you guys the entire squad with the Kill Team box set that came out, the new character from the box set, and I did ask if there was anything else you guys wanted to see, and a lot of you were curious to know how my paint scheme transfers over to something slightly bigger and more armored, and as it happens, I was already kind of starting to work on a Bloat-drone over on my streams on Twitch. I stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m, 10 p.m. Irish time. Check it out. Everybody welcome. So I'd started on that. I'd started to throw a couple of base coats on it, but I didn't get very far. And I decided that I would use that miniature to show you guys how I transferred this paint scheme onto something a little bit bigger, more armor, more flat panels and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoy seeing that journey. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is the Bloat-drone from the Poxwrought Vector box set, the new Death Guard box set that came out and sold out almost immediately. So I was just doing it on stream. I was having a lot of fun doing it, and that's why he's kind of already started. But then you guys had so many comments on the last video requesting more content on the Death Guard and how to paint something with a little bit more armor. I figured, since I started this thing, I might as well just follow through. So all that's been done to this thing so far, in case you want to follow along, is the model was sprayed black and then sprayed a light gray zenithal kind of coat so that the contrast paints will apply to it really nicely. After that, Death Guard green contrast, Plaguebearer flesh contrast was then applied to all of the armor panels. We then had Guilliman flesh on all of the skin bits, and then black on all of the pipework and ducting and stuff like that. Those were the three colors I got through on the last stream. Not very much, but a lot of yapping going on over there on the old Twitch stream, which you're all more than welcome to join in on. After that, we are of course going to go and start getting in the rest of the base coat. So obviously we had our skeleton horde. We hit all of the teeth and claws and nails and horns and all those kind of bits. We have Volupus pink for any of the tentacles or gooey bits kind of between segments. Or armor panels, things that connect like the fleshy bits to the mechanical bits. There can sometimes be bits where a bit of Volupus pink would suit that really nicely. So we use that there. I have wanted to paint one of these things for quite a long time. I've got a bunch of them already, but the bunch of them I have already are all the push fit one from before. I really wanted the multi-part one to get my hands on the big horrible, I don't know, dozer blade, drill blade of doom on the front. I think it's really cool and really sick. So the first one I'm going to paint is of course that. Lead belch was then used to start blocking in the metallics. Of course, there's going to be two different color metallics. There's going to be silver and, of course, brass, bronze, dark gold, whatever you want to do for it, for all the kind of extra details and stuff. There is quite a lot of extra details in this thing. Obviously, you can see the big turbines that keep this thing aloft. Obviously, we painted the rotor blades inside in silver, but those big chaos kind of crowns on the outside are going to get done in gold. The one going down the kind of like the mohawk of it, if you will get done in gold. And there's just a bunch of other details you will see in a minute. There's more than you would think. I thought it was majority going to be silver until I started looking at other images of it and realizing how much of it was actually going to be Balthazar gold. I am thoroughly enjoying painting up Death Guard right now. My kind of love for Death Guard has always been there, always my favorite Chaos Legion. But ever since I pushed myself to do the entire squad out of the Kill Team box set, I've been kind of like drips and drabs to get the Primarch done for a video, and I'm trying to make as many excuses to make content, so I've got an excuse to paint them for me. So I am enjoying it. There's actually a little force kind of there on the table you saw at the beginning. It's starting to feel like a little force. I've got a clear shelf off for it so I can display it all as one thing, make me feel happy. So I'm loving it, and hopefully in the next couple of months I'll have a full army painted and I can get some games in with them. Okay, with all the base coats on this beast of a model, it's time to shade it. And for that, we are going to go for Agrok Search Shade, a nice dirty brown shade. You will notice that the base is now gray. I put gray texture paste on that. Wrong thing. I had a total brain misfire, and I was starting to do the same basing scheme I was doing for Emperor's Children. My Death Guard are not on those. So I had to go back and reapply Firelands over the top of that. And then I could go in and start shading it. Like I said, Agrok Search Shade is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to apply this across the entire piece. If you are enjoying these videos and you want to see more content like this in the future, the best way to show me that you want to see them is to make sure you give this video a like, ask me any questions, or let me know what you want to see in future videos in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed. Those three things cost you nothing, but they do make a huge difference as to the amount of people that see these videos and how quickly the channel grows. If you want to help to support the channel even further, there is of course things like channel membership here on YouTube, or of course becoming a member on Patreon. Both of those two things are of course linked below. You get access to a private Discord server, and you get access to an extra video every single week just for you guys. So if those two things sound interesting, like I said, linked down below. Okay, now it's time to start working up this armor, the layering stage of painting, which is always my favorite. So Death Guard green is going to be the first thing. I'm going to take the green to completion as the first step. So we're going to go for Death Guard green. And as you can see, I've moved over to an artificer brush, getting a fine point and getting some scratchy details across all the armor panels. Obviously, this thing has a skirt. The important thing to do is, like, you know, pick the direction kind of left to right or right to left or whatever, and kind of keep the scratchy lines you're doing on the armor panels going in the same direction across the entire panel. We don't want any cross hatching or anything like that on these particular details or techniques. It can be a little bit rough, a little bit kind of off. It's okay. It is a Nurgle machine after all. It's not supposed to be pristine or flat or anything like that. You can see the coat that I'm after getting on that armor panel there. You can see a lot of the color from before is left behind. But we have indeed gone in with those scratchy Death Guard lines quite a lot across the armor panels. We're going to do that across them, the turbines, and all the other bits and pieces for the first coat of green. And after that, we are then going to jump up to Nurgling green, repeat the process we just did, but just less. You know what I mean? Just smaller lines, sharper to the edges. We just want this to be like an extra layer of kind of highlighting. And then from there, when that's done, we are not done with the green, because I always felt that the standard Death Guard green colors were just a little bit dull. They were a little bit flat. They never really excited me. I much preferred when people go down the route of having that like toxic green looking armor. And that's what I'm going to do here with one very simple, very quick technique. It doesn't take a lot to do. You're going to transform this really flat, dull, and in my opinion, boring green color into something a little bit more flashy. And in order to do that, all we need is a yellow glaze paint. You can use the one from Too Thin Coats, or if there's an Army Painter one, I'm not sure. I still have some of the original Games Workshop yellow glaze. And you're going to apply this to all of those green armor panels that you have already painted up. And what it does is it transforms that pallid color into a really toxic green looking color. I will do like a half and half in a second. You'll see the difference you get from applying this to the half of the kind of main body of it, and the other half is still that kind of pallid color. I think the difference is night and day. I think it makes a huge difference, and it looks pretty awesome. So I'm going to get this entire thing painted with that, and then this is the result. I feel like this is a much more Nurgle, much more Death Guard looking color that I have here. I really like the final result on the green armor. So I'm going to continue to do this for all my Death Guards so far, and I'm loving it. Okay, we're going to work up through the gross skin now. We're going to use traditional Cadian and Kislev skin tones. And we're of course going to use our secret weapon, which is that Berserker Bloodshade. And we will get this kind of distressed pinky skin. You can decide to go down a different route and go like more pallid and more gross if you want to. I still think this looks gross at the end. I think it really suits the tone of the model. But I can understand if people think it's not, I don't know, rotten enough or degraded enough, or, you know, it's kind of a little bit too alive. But that's up to you. You can be a judge. When I've finished off the skin, like I said, I'm going to do the first one, which is Cadian Flesh. And we're going to be doing, same as the armor, real scratchy, real liney highlights across that. We're then going to hit it with, like I said, Berserker Bloodshade. Give that a coat all across the skin. It's going to add a lot of redness and a lot of soreness to the skin, a lot of stretched out, you know, that kind of tone is what you're looking for. And then when that's fully dry, we're going to go back in with Kislev Flesh. Repeat that same kind of scratchy highlight. Just a little bit less, a little bit more unplanned, a little bit more. And it looks awesome. Okay, let's see how the pink skin looks so far. As you can see, looks awful. So with the addition of the Kislev Flesh, this is where we're going to take our time. We're going to hit the tops of those like boils and sores and stuff like that. Like I said, we want to keep those lines going in the same direction all the way down. And leave gaps between the lines. We want it to that distressed pink tone color coming through. And as you can see, as I start to work my way down the model, it actually looks really, really cool. And I'm really pleased with that result. Do you think this tone suits the Death Guard, or do you think it needs to be more death? Please do let me know in the comments below if you would change it or if you're happy enough with that result. Okay, for all of the bone and all those gnarly teeth in the faceplate of this thing, I just did a standard like mid-tone bone and then a highlight bone. Very simple, nothing crazy, you know, like Ushabti Bone and a Screaming Skull, or if you have alternative colors, you know what I'm talking about. Pull out your bones, pick one that is like the middle of the color, and then pick one that's slightly brighter and just highlight all that. It gives you a really nice result, really standout feature. It's why I chose this faceplate. I really liked the horrible, because you get the green all the way down the middle, and then you get all those gnarly teeth, and then you get the skin poking through as well, which just gives you kind of like all the tones of the model in one spot. And it just screams Death Guard. Love it. Okay, we're going to go over to Lead Belcher now. And we're going to highlight all of the metallics across this entire piece. So all the silver and all the gold parts. As you can see, once again, going in with those like just touchy, scratchy highlights. We're not going for like a smooth brush stroke anywhere, really. This is not supposed to be pristine metallics. It's old, it's worn, it's corrupted. But it is bashing around a war zone, so it's going to get scratched and it's going to look sharp and it's horrible. Just awesome. Screamer Pink and then Pink Horror are going to be the two colors I use for those kind of tongues and tentacles and any other bits you can find around the model that want to be that extra kind of freaky skin. It's like a game of Where's Wallow, trying to find all those areas on the model. There is a bunch there. Just go and find them. It is funny how adding the brighter colors to a model like that should be really grungy and dark. Like some people do Death Guard real grim dark. I kind of like them being a little bit more colorful, a little bit more standout. Like I think when I do get like 2,000 points this army painted, it is going to be extremely striking on the tabletop. And that's something that I really want it to be. I want it to look really cool. I want it to be a memorable army to play against. So hopefully I can pull that off. But now with the new rules, I guess I'm going to have to paint 120 Poxwalkers and try and run that list, which sounds like a fun one. I've always wanted to do a lot of Poxwalkers. So now that they're really good, maybe now's the time. Should I do a video where I try and paint 120 Poxwalkers in one sitting? Is that suicidal? Is that insane? Maybe. A bit of Nihilic Oxide be one of the technical paints used to help add some extra detail to this model, an extra kind of splash of color. And we're going to do any of the broken bits of armor across anywhere there's pock marks, anywhere where there's chips around the vent, all along the gold and silver parts. We're going to fix this with Nihilic Oxide. Like I said, it's a really quick thing to add to the model, but it looks really cool. After that, of course, we just got to add one last little bit of detail to this model to kind of finish it off. You could just stop here. If you like the model as it is now, leave it as it is. I personally think that that kind of rotor blade of doom is just a little bit too clean. So I think if we add blood for the blood god and smear it all across those horrible blades on the front, it's going to suit it and it's going to look really good. Maybe make sure to get a little bit of overspray on the sides, up the in parts of the armor, on those like snaky tube parts, because if this blender does hit a model, it's going to be spraying all over the place and it's going to look fairly awesome / awful. With that, we have our finished Nurgle Blight-drone. I am really glad that I decided to do this for a video to show you guys what it's like to paint one of these amazing pieces up. I have a bunch more of them to paint. I'll take a break from these right now and try and do another squad of infantry maybe, or some Terminators. But as a final piece and a piece added to my Death Guard army, I could not be happier. Love to know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Do all those things I said earlier. Like, comment, subscribe, check out Patreon and channel membership down below. And yeah, enjoy your glorious Death Guard madness. A few still images to give you guys an example of what this beast might look like on a tabletop. And that will bring this video to a close. So thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. I'll see you in the next one.